everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the E.L.F Seriously Satin Lipsticks. If you do want to see a review and swatches, please keep watching. These lipsticks retail for $3 on E.L.F.'s website, also available at Ulta and Target. Links down below in the description box where they are currently available. I purchased 8 out of the 10 shades in this collection. I do want to read a little bit about these Seriously Satin Lipsticks. I say whether you're trying to add a little flair to your day or drama to your night, E.L.F Cosmetics Silky Smooth Seriously Satin Lipstick will hug the curves of your lips and provide the intense color payoff you need to rock any look. Formulated for comfortable wear so your lips will look as good as they feel. Proud to be 100% vegan and cruelty-free worldwide. The first shade is called Cream. On the back you do have a little description about the lipstick and you have the little barcode here. That's a much better angle, so again it does say a little bit what I read earlier, a little description, and then the barcode here, and then you have the ingredients on the bottom. Let's go ahead and open these up. What the actual lipstick tube looks like, you get 0.12 ounces or 3.5 grams. This is definitely giving me KKW vibes. I do want to show you what the KKW packaging looks like versus the E.L.F. I know the KKW is square and this one is round. Similar concept. On the packaging it does say E.L.F here at the bottom, and you do have the shade name as well. Let's go ahead and open this up. Such a pretty shade. Here's what the shade in Cream looks like. This shade will wash me out. Let's see what it looks like applied on the lips. I'm getting a crayon smell when I applied this to my lips. I don't like the scent at all. The shade in Cream is way too light on me. I'm gonna press my lips together. It doesn't feel matte, it doesn't feel dry, there's no added moisture. It does feel comfortable on my lips. The second shade is called Nectar. Here's what Nectar looks like. Let's watch the shade in Nectar. Ooh, that's a beautiful shade. Nectar is such a gorgeous shade. I just wish it was a bit more pigmented. I'm gonna try and build up the shade in Nectar. That's much better. I can still smell the crayon scent that these lipsticks have. Hopefully the scent doesn't linger throughout my entire day. I will of course keep you guys updated in the description box down below on how it wears throughout my entire day. The next shade is called Taffy. Here's what Taffy looks like. I love how pretty the shade in Taffy looks like. Let's see what its swatch is like. Wow, the shade in Taffy is pigmented than the first two shades. It covered up my dark upper lip. This is the first pigmented shade out of the collection so far. Let's move on to the next shade. The next shade is called Cider. Cider is a pretty shade. Let's see what Cider swatch is like. Ooh, this shade is gorgeous. Wow. So pigmented. This shade covered up my dark upper lip as well. Is one swipe pigment. I can see myself reaching for the shade in Cider every day. The next shade is called Sugar Plum. Here's what Sugar Plum looks like. Another pretty shade. You guys know how I feel about my purples and berries. Wow, that purple is stunning. Look at that one swipe. Look how pigmented it is. Let's see what it looks like applied on the lips. Wow, super pigmented. This shade in Sugar Plum, it doesn't have that heavily scented crayon smell. Let's finish applying the shade in Sugar Plum. This shade in Sugar Plum has to be my favorite out of this entire collection so far that we've swatched. It's so pigmented. When I press my lips together, it feels a bit more moisturizing than the previous shades. Let's move on to the next shade. The next shade is called Cherry. Here's what Cherry looks like. Cherry looks like a true red shade. Here's what cherry looks like. Wow, super pigmented. Do you guys see that? This shade in cherry is so opaque. I was not expecting that. This one has a little bit of that crayon scent to it. It's not too overpowering. This shade is One Swipe Pigment. I love this shade in cherry. I'm not sure why I purchased two red shades, but I did. The next shade is called Pepper. Here's what Pepper looks like. Ooh, I love this red shade. It's like a firecracker red. Let's see what this shade swatch is like. I'm not sure if it is translating on camera, but Pepper is a little bit lighter than the first shade in cherry that we swatched. Let's see what the shade in Pepper looks like swatched on the lips. I actually like this shade. It's not as pigmented as cherry. I definitely prefer the shade in cherry. Pepper is definitely that burnt orange red shade. This shade in Pepper is a little bit lighter than cherry. It's that burnt orange shade. I love it. Let's move on to the last shade I purchased. The last shade I purchased is called Cocoa. Here's what Cocoa looks like. Wow. Let's see what the last shade in Cocoa looks like applied on the lips. Another gorgeous shade. Look at that, One Swipe Pigment. I love this shade in Cocoa. It complements my skin complexion. I can see myself reaching for this shade on a daily. I will be wearing this shade in Cocoa throughout my entire day. I will leave below in the description box how it did perform. Overall, my final thoughts on the E.L.F Seriously Satin Lipsticks is that I did love all 5 of these shades that I did try on. Of course, I love the 2 red shades. They looked gorgeous. Wait a second, did I forget to swatch the shade in Cocoa on the back of my hand? I just quickly went on and applied it on my lips. Sorry about that. Let me actually swatch it for you guys. There we go. There's the shade in Cocoa. I love this shade. So pigmented, so opaque, and it does feel moisturizing on the lips. Cocoa felt very moisturizing, and the shade in Sugar Plum as well did feel very moisturizing on the lips. I'm not sure why these 2 shades do feel a bit more moisturizing than the rest of the shades. I did like these 5 shades. Cider is another gorgeous shade. It does not completely mute out my lips. This shade will definitely be my everyday neutral shade. Of course, you guys know I love the shade in Sugar Plum. It's so pigmented, and again, it does feel moisturizing on the lips. And then we have the first 3 shades that we did swatch on the back of my hand. First shade in Cream, it did not complement my skin complexion. This shade in Cream is heavily scented. It has that crayony smell to it. I would not recommend you guys purchasing this shade in particular because of that heavy fragrance scent. I cannot pull off this shade in Cream alone. Let's apply a little bit in the center. I think that's better. I like this little lip combo. It's cute. And then we have the shade in Nectar. I thought I would love this shade, but it wasn't completely opaque. That's why I don't like the shade in Nectar as much. The last shade that wasn't my favorite is in the shade Taffy. I did like how opaque this shade was, but I could never see myself reaching for a bubblegum pink shade. Well, not on its own. Maybe I can mix this shade with a couple of other shades that I did purchase. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.